There are very, very many aspects of leadership. You have the theory of leadership as a science. You have leadership in a contextual situation. Are you at the lower end of management? Are you leading from that perspective? Are you a professional? Are you at the middle level of management? Are you a politician? What sort of science do you have? Are you at the top of the organization's echelon? Are you in the C-suite? Are you at the board level? Each of these requires different leadership characteristics and capabilities. But there are things that underpin all these areas, and that is character. And followed by character is the formation of the values that drive your professional growth in leadership and in whatever other aspect of your life that you may want to lead. Your family, your social services, your social impact, and so many other things. So we are not going to deal with the context of leadership. We are not going to deal with building perfect institutions. We are not going to deal with understanding the strategy of leadership and how to drive an organization through strategy, but we will assume it. We will emphasize more or less not the legacy of your leadership, but who are you and how can you transform yourself as part of your character to become a great leader. Character, that's a core issue. What sort of values are embedded in your heart? For instance, do you know the cardinal issues and cardinal characteristics of a great leader? Many people say that leadership, especially from a character perspective, means that you have commitment, you have the desire to persevere in your leadership capacity, that you want to grow within it. But most of all, character are the main things that you define a leader with. I'll not worry about commitment. I will not worry about resilience in leadership. What I want you to understand is this last one word, character. Character defines you because you already have something inherent in your genetic formation, something we call temperament. You cannot change your temperament. If you're an outgoing person, if you're a person like Donald Trump, who has just been made the president-elect of the United States in 2016, you seem to be an outgoing character, to be a person happy when dealing with people, to be in the noise. You like being out in the crowd. You cannot change that innate tendency. What if you have the opposite one? You like staying in the research office, in the laboratory, and you don't want any noise. You simply want to work at your book. You're a nerd. It will take you a lot of character to change that temperament and make it balanced. Well, character is what our main teachings and video sessions on leadership that will transform it will be about. But it is true that you cannot think of building your character without building your team and the institution. Therefore, we will always be moving away from you as a person developing and transforming themselves back to your team, back to your institutions. I feel that one of the greatest values of a leader is visionary. To be a visionary. But is that a character? No. That is a result. A result of what? Of a character virtue. So character not only depends on the temperament that you have been given by God, by your creation, by the fact that you are born within a certain family line or a certain people. You are asked to cultivate within that temperament the true character that must come out. And here is where many people fail to become leaders, because they fail to overcome the inertia of their temperament. So you tend to get angry, you tend to get impatient, you tend to get silent, you don't want to talk to people. But does that mean that that is the way you should be all your life because it seems right, and most of all, it feels right? Prudence. You have to create the character of prudence. A person who studies, a person who delves into the data, a person who knows the details. Once you have got the advice from those around you, once you listen and understand them, you slowly become prudent. Most likely you've heard most people tell you to be a great leader, you need a coach. But there are some attributes of character that are very difficult to engage in. For instance, how just are you? How do you distribute the resources in your hands to your team members, to your organization? Now you may think I'm talking about money. Most people think that leadership and character is about money. But for instance, when was the last time you dished out a thank you? When was the last time you dished out your smile? What was the last time you dished out your encouragement? Or probably you dished out your conflict. As you walk along the corridor of your office and you dish out conflict, you will have less happier people around you. If you dish out a reward, if you dish out a thank you, you will have a more optimized team. But these are things people don't talk about as part of your justice. Reward and punishment are part of character, and you must be resilient in them. What about courage to take risks? Or is the first thing that comes across to you as difficult also the first point where you stop and go back and bring all the excuses that can stop you from going forward? Remember that the greatest attribute of a leader is that ability to mark the path even when the path is not clear, to mark the vision of the future when it is not clear, to build the faith about a future that is worthwhile, a place where we will rest in a better world, in a better future. I hope that these sessions that you're dealing with, Strathmore University Business School and the World Bank SIGAP project here in Africa will help you transform yourself. And I do want to ask you, please transform yourself, because if you don't, no one else will transform this continent. No one else will transform you.